Alright, YouTube, here we go. One more design on a rocket stove here. I'm pretty impressed with this one so far. This is 6-inch pipe. Got a cap. That's actually a stovepipe cap. Excuse me. We'll pull that off whenever you lighten it. And see if you can see that. That's not quite a perfect 90. But so you notice it's a little bit off on the bottom. We just adjusted it with the legs, and I just have a temporary leg on it right now in the back. But man, I'm sure you can hear that. That's old wet pine boards actually, and it's going to town. Now what we wanted to do was, we had an idea. Let's see, I hadn't looked inside this thing yet. Whoa. Wow. Let's see if we get up here a little bit further so don't burn the camera. That's freaking hot. Let's see. I mean, hot. God damn. 5 feet above it. It's hot. Oof. Sheesh. So anyway, we wanted to experiment with something to cook with. And so got a little, just made an X so we could try a couple of different things. And let me see if I can get up here again without getting too hot. Oops. Whoop. This is pretty much a full, well, it's over half. Anyway, over half. I'm going to take a note of the time, see how long it takes. We're looking for something we can cook with and do some decent cooking. I found that was out scooter pooting around today and stopped, and that's not quite a 90 degree actually, so we have a little vertical rise on the, let's see if I can see it from over here a little bit better. Have a little bit of a vertical rise on the, let's see, that's holding it straight with the table. Little vertical rise on that flume. Well, that son of a gun right there, though, flat, is getting with it. Nice thing about it, you can put larger wood in. I'm fixing to stick some real big chunks in there and see what it looks like. So, if you're building rocket stoves, from my experience, don't even start with anything less than 4 inches. 3 inches is borderline. 4 inches is, oops, you saw that piece fall down in there. 4 inches is just about minimum for a good, good run, and you can see no smoke. That's what everybody likes to say. This thing barely even smoked when we fired it up. I mean, it didn't smoke for maybe 20 seconds. That was it. And this is sappy wood. But don't even. If you want something that you can really cook with, then put out in your backyard or use it in case the poopy hits the fan. Get you something. This is 6 inch. 6 inch has really been the number that they really start cooking. I'll tell you another thing too. This is a theory. Here, this is a molded 90. You can buy it from a welding shop. That's a 4 inch. I'm gonna play around with that with a piece of 4 inch square. There's a lot to keeping that flow going. Using those slow bend 90s and stuff like that rather than those 245s. So that's just been my experience with, and trust me, I've built quite a few of these things already. But anyway, YouTube, that 6 inch right there, that rascal's getting it. And I don't have flame coming all the way up that tube. I could shorten that smokestack up, and I'm sure I could blow some flames up there on the pot. You see sparks and stuff flying out every now and then. But those flames are not very far down in there. I'd say, but I have a minimum amount of wood in there too, so I can definitely put some more wood in there and get it to blow flames out of the top. But we're trying to get something to cook on, not necessarily, just blow and go. So something we can control. Quick update. I was wondering if we could stuff this thing full of wood and still 500 at the 500 at the pot. 400, 500 at the base of the pot?
Base of the pot's 5.
Ooh, that thing's going to get cranking here in a minute, isn't it? Yeah, because 350 will...
The fins are 355. The bottom of the pot's 460.
460, that'll be a good rumbling boil.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if this thing, now, you know, that thing, rascal,
that's 800 degrees.
it doesn't have 800 right on the pipe there?
813, yep.
All right, what about right here on top?
650.
Really?
Yeah. And cools off all the way up.
Just cooling off as it goes.
345 right there.
Now, there ain't much room
511.
down in there. That is chock full of wood. And that's what we've generally been seeing is pretty much a destruction of the average rocket stove. Now, you can,
there's the hottest point right there.
not going to be able to see down there. Right up at the base of the fire then?
Right there.
Yeah, that's it. But I've got a little shelf, but as you can see, I can't see in the top of the camera, but I think you can see there's a pretty nice little vortex going, or not vortex, but I mean pretty good bit of suction going on in there. And that is just sucking down the wood from, or the air from around the wood, because this end of this is capped off. So we're just testing the theories, and we haven't had any smoke. Well, when I was beating it around a while ago, loading up the wood, we got some for about 5 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds. But that water definitely getting hot by now.
Oh, it's boiling.
All right. Finally figured the phone out, or the video camera out on the phone. So the rest of them were real dark. Anyway, let's see. Can you see that? That pot's boiling pretty good, but anyway, this is not quite a 90, as you can see. But then the legs are just, everything's temporary. We just put it together, but I went ahead and welded the feed tube solid. This has been running for over an hour. I had about 6 sticks are in there. I'm sorry, 5 sticks. Well, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sticks of that size in there, and that's been going for an hour now. And that was what we were looking for, something that was easy to cook. And that pot is in a pretty nice, you can see little smokes, little steam coming out of there. That's at a pretty nice boil. Not too much, not too little. That's a stove cap, 6-inch stove cap. But that's a 6-inch piece of thick wall pipe. And it wasn't quite been on a 90, but we figured we'd take it anyway. And because, yeah, you can see it boiling now. I was pretty dead set on all the experimenting that we'd done, that that slow bend 90 makes a difference, and that's close we could come to that pipe, to a slow bend 90 in a large pipe. And only if you're going to build a stove to cook on, not just to do some little demos and stuff, or anything more than a, you know, warming up a cup of coffee or something like that, you need to get above 4-inch. 4-inch works okay, but you know, like I said, we were looking for something to stick some wood in there for, you know, about an hour. Let's see, that's 4 inches from here to here, and then it's another 6, so it's 10 inches of wood sticking out, 11 inches on the right, 10 inches over there. That started out 16 inches each, so they were 6 inches above that, which is up in this neighborhood. And that's been cooking like that for about an hour on just 4 or 5 sticks? 4 sticks. 4 sticks of wood like that. And this is going to be pretty easy. Just pull that cap out of there and just pull the ashes out. I'll make a little half moon, drag your little rake, but you can tell that it's pretty warm, and you can hear it. Now, it's right now not near as much wood and flame in there as has been, but you just shake that wood around a little bit and you can hear it pick up. and that's just perfect cooking temperature for cooking stews and pot of rice or set of beans or something like that. And that's mainly what I was interested in. Now 6 inch is working great. Now we fooled around. You see a 6-inch T right there. There's a 6-inch stovepipe sitting next to a 3-inch. Now that 6-inch stovepipe, that's 24 inches there, and then a 24-inch stack. I just put them together, didn't cut them or anything. And now the hottest part of that was dead center. So I thought, man, if we could put a pot in the middle of that and have 2 cooking surfaces, so you could cook up on top, not on this stuff, this is too thin, but cook up top and cook on the bottom. Now that 3-inch worked pretty good, but you had to really load it up with some really thin, fine wood to get it going. And I've made several 3-inch squares with square risers, with round risers, and that was kind of a waste. 4-inch did okay. Now that's a 4-inch right there, and that's just temporary because we were doing some testing and all. But that's a 50-degree angle, and you can see the side there, and it's got a 4-inch feed tube. That the bottom we just leave open, and that's got a grate on it. You pull the grate out, and the underside of the grate has a little angle on it and goes back there in the back. So all the ashes that fall in, you just pull them right out, and they just fall out on the ground, and then you run it back in there. But here's the next project. Right now I've got 2 pieces of square 6-inch, but I kind of wanted to use one of those pieces for something else. And I've got a piece of round 6-inch over there. So I believe what I'm going to do is put me a 6-inch feed tube right here. I'll cut 6 inches of this off. Let's see, I marked it but flipped it over a while ago. So I'm going to cut 6 inches off right here, and then stand it up here and feed it, and then it's going to give me about 14 inches here to put a pipe, and then this upright I'm going to have a 6-inch pipe going right here and block off the back, and that's going to give me about 13.5 inches right here where it's the hottest. We mapped that 6-inch out. It was 900 and something degrees right in the middle of that 2-foot pipe between the two 90s and about 600 right by the flame, right by the fire. And then as you went up the smokestack, it progressively cooled off. But I'm thinking if this does the same, which I don't see why it won't, then right in the middle of that is going to be a nice place to have a pot to cook on. So 1 pot there and 1 pot on the top of the round. So that'll be the next project. See how that works out. Trying to find something that'd be easy to cook on. And once we got up in the over 4 inches, or 4 inches was okay if you wanted, to keep something on simmer, and you could work a little bit and easily keep it on a boil, but it took a little work. You had to pretty much stay out there dinking with the flame on it, or with the wood. But the 6-inch really does the trick. Like I said, it's over an hour now, and that's with the same load of wood. I would have obviously put some more wood in there by now, but so it's beginning to die down a little bit. Now when it dies down, it doesn't get, you don't get that burn. I hadn't been paying attention to this for a pretty good while, and there's not enough wood in there for it to work off of each other, to get the flame going good. So this is the absolute minimum amount of wood that you'd want to have in your stove. So you get down this much, this little anyway, then you're gonna have to play with it a little bit. But I've been greatly impressed with this one. I'll put some different legs on it and such as that, but this definitely, and that's just 2 pieces of 3/16 inch flat bar welded together in a T. Just grooved each one of them, slid them into each other, and put a square on it, and then tacked it up, and then put the pot on top of it. That way, if I was thinking about putting a 12-inch, like a piece of Freon can or something like that, or a piece of pipe or something, and doing a 12-inch shield on there, which would keep a little bit more of the heat going around that pot, but it's still a nice job like it is. So you notice after I've moved that wood around, that smoke's gone. What's that smoke you see up there right now is the steam coming off that pot. So you just move it around a little bit and see how it's caught back up. Won't take but just a minute. But that on a smaller stove, like 3-inch in diameter or 4-inch, it's not near that easy. So anyway, everything we build from here on out, minimum is going to be 6 inches.